Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're doing a deep dive for those of you who are serious about DeFi. We're going to jump straight into a strategic comparison of Aave, Compound, and Spark to find the absolute best stablecoin yield on Arbitrum, and we'll cover how to do it all securely from your hardware wallet.
Look, we're skipping the 101 stuff and getting right to the heart of it. First, we'll tackle the real risks you need to know. Then, we'll pit the protocols and stablecoins against each other, walk through how to actually execute the strategy, and finally, wrap it all up in a framework so you can make the right call for you. All right, let's get into it.
Before we even get distracted by those juicy APYs, we have to talk about risk. Seriously, understanding these core mechanics is the only way you're going to protect your capital in this game.
Those really high yields, they often come with some hidden and pretty sharp teeth. These aren't just some vague, far-off risks. They are the fault lines that can absolutely wreck your portfolio if you're not paying attention. So let's break down the big three that you just have to know.
Every single thing you do in DeFi, every deposit, every loan, it's all powered by smart contracts. And even if they've been audited a dozen times by the best firms in the world, the risk of a bug or a clever exploit is never, ever zero. That's just the fundamental risk you're signing up for.
So how do these platforms know what things are worth? They don't, not on their own. They rely on these things called oracles to feed them price data from the outside world. And if that data feed gets corrupted or manipulated or even just delayed, it could trigger a liquidation on your position even when, by all rights, you should be perfectly safe.
And here it is, the most direct risk you're going to face. If the value of your collateral drops, the system won't call you up to ask for more money. Nope, it's designed to automatically and brutally sell off your assets to make sure it stays solvent. You get liquidated, and you pay a steep penalty for the trouble.
So what you're really seeing here is this constant tug of war. A high loan-to-value, or LTV, feels great. It gives you more capital to work with. But it also shrinks your safety buffer, pushing you way closer to that liquidation threshold. It is a constant balancing act between borrowing power and staying safe.
All right, so now that we're all on the same page about the risks, let's get to the fun part, comparing the platforms themselves. Let's think of these as the engines that are going to power our yield strategy.
So, in one corner, you've got the titans, Aave and Compound. I mean, these guys are properly battle-tested. They've been through it all. And in the other corner, we have Spark, a really interesting newer player that's plugged right into the massive MakerDAO ecosystem. And the really clever part? Spark is actually built on top of Aave's own V3 code, which creates a very cool dynamic.
And this comment from someone in the DeFi community just nails it. It's all about trust. In a world where protocols can just vanish, having survived multiple brutal bear markets, well, that kind of track record is worth its weight in gold. It builds real confidence.
So remember when we talked about liquidation risk? Well, this is where Aave gets really, really interesting. Their E-mode is a direct answer to that problem, specifically for stablecoins. The system recognizes that assets like USDC and DAI should stay pegged, so it lets you borrow way more against them. We're talking up to 96.5%. This just cranks up your capital efficiency and maximizes your yield.
And if we look down the road, Aave's plan for V4 is all about this unified liquidity layer. Now, what does that mean for you? It means they're thinking big, about making money flow effortlessly between different blockchains. That focus on future growth and availability is a super strong signal about the protocol's long-term value.
Okay, so we've got our engine. Now we need to talk about the fuel. Your entire strategy is only as good, only as reliable as the stablecoin you build it on. So let's dig in and see how USDC, USDT, and DAI really stack up.
And just look at this chart. A picture is worth 1,000 words, right? This data from Chaos Labs tells you everything you need to know about stability, or, the lack of it sometimes. You can see with your own eyes how each of these has held up or not during big market shocks. So what's the real difference here? It all comes down to who or what you trust. With USDC and USDT, you're trusting a company, their auditors, and their bank accounts. With DAI, you're trusting the math. You're trusting the transparent, on-chain code of the MakerDAO system. It's a huge choice between corporate accountability and algorithmic transparency.
Okay, this slide right here, this is critical for our strategy, especially if you want to get your money out fast. This data shows how quickly these stablecoins snap back to their $1 peg. And look at that, USDC DAI pair. They repeg fast. That is exactly what you want to see. It means any little wobble that could put your high leverage position at risk is likely to fix itself, and quickly. That's what makes something like Aave's E-mode actually viable.
So we've picked our engine, we've picked our fuel. Now, let's put it all together. How do we actually do this efficiently? And most importantly, how do we do it securely?
So why Arbitrum? It's simple, really. It's all about the fees. Because it's a layer 2, it bundles up a whole bunch of transactions and settles them on Ethereum all at once. For you, that just means your transactions are going to be way, way cheaper and faster.
Okay, here's your playbook for doing this safely. It's a pretty straightforward 4-step process. The most important part to understand here is that your private keys, your actual money, never leave the safety of your hardware wallet, whether that's a Tangent card or a ledger. You tell the website what you want to do, but that final critical yes happens on your physical device.
Honestly, if you're dealing with any serious amount of capital, using a hardware wallet is just non-negotiable. That physical tap of a Tangent card or the button press on a ledger stacks, that action creates a physical air gap between your keys and the internet. It's your ultimate firewall, ensuring that you and only you can sign off on sending your funds anywhere.
Wow, we have covered a lot of ground, from deep-seated risks all the way to the nitty-gritty of execution. So let's bring it all home and build a simple framework to help you make your final call.
So here it is. This is basically the cheat sheet for everything we've talked about. If you're looking for maximum capital efficiency with a proven low-risk platform, the Aave strategy with USDC and DAI is an absolute top-tier choice. If you just want pure, battle-tested, sleep-well-at-night reliability, Compound is right there with it. And Spark, it's that compelling, higher-risk, higher-yield alternative if you're really bullish on the whole MakerDAO and DAI ecosystem.
At the end of the day, there's no single best answer that fits everyone. The choice between Aave's clever efficiency, Compound's rock-solid reliability, or Spark's higher potential really comes down to your own goals and how much risk you're comfortable with. But the crucial thing is, now you have the framework. You're not guessing anymore. You're ready to make an informed choice.